The Spurs' young core is starting to look rude. I mean that in the best way. Wemby's already the headline. Everybody knows that. The man walks into a game and half the arena starts acting like they saw something land in the parking lot. Then there's Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and Bryant. And with De'Aaron Fox sitting there as the veteran engine, this whole thing starts looking less like a rebuild and more like San Antonio found a cheat code in broad daylight. That's why this group matters. This is not one young star dragging a bad roster through noise. This is a young core learning how to win playoff possessions together. And you know, that's a completely different conversation. Because talent's one thing, fit's another. San Antonio has both starting to show up at the same time, and that should bother the rest of the West. But before we start, if you love basketball and you're one of the 90% who watch without subscribing, it's time to join the NBA Inside family. Now let's start with Wemby because every part of this core bends around him. Game 1 against Oklahoma City made that pretty obvious. 41 points, 24 rebounds, 3 blocks, 49 minutes, double overtime. Road win. Spurs 122, Thunder 115. That's a monster night, and it came against the defending champs in their building, with the series pressure sitting right there on the floor. That kind of game changes how everyone else gets viewed. Harper's drives look cleaner because Wemby pulls eyes. Castle's defensive pressure gets louder because Wemby waits behind him. Bryant's wing defense makes more sense because the backline's protected. Fox's job gets easier when the defense has to choose between his speed and Wemby's size. That's synergy. Not the fake business school word. Real basketball synergy. The kind where one guy's strength makes the next guy's job simpler. Wemby attracts attention without even touching the ball. He stands near the elbow and defenders start cheating. He trails into a 3 and the big has to come out. He rolls to the rim and the low man starts sliding early. He posts smaller players and the weak side gets nervous.
5 on 4. Wemby's going to pull a deep 3. Oh my goodness.
That opens lanes, that opens corners, that gives young guards a little more air. And for Harper, that air matters. Dylan Harper has adapted to pressure faster than a rookie guard should. He does not play like a kid begging for approval. He plays like someone trying to solve the possession. Sometimes it's a drive. Sometimes it's a kick out. Sometimes he slows down, keeps the defender on his hip, and waits for the floor to tell him what to do. That sounds simple. It ain't. Young guards usually speed themselves up into bad decisions. They get one screen, see one gap, and go flying into the paint like somebody cut their brakes. Harper has more patience than that. In Game 1 against OKC, he gave San Antonio 24 points and hit the go-ahead layup in the second overtime while starting in place of the injured Fox. That matters because the Thunder don't hand out comfortable minutes. They pressure you. They crowd you. They make rookies look like they're trying to read a menu in a language they don't speak.
He is 13 shooting twos, but 3 of 14 from deep. Harper knocks down another 3, and Mark Dagnall.
Harper still found his spots. That's the part I keep coming back to. When the game got heavier, he didn't shrink. He kept attacking. He kept making OKC guard him. And once a rookie guard starts doing that next to Wemby, the Spurs become annoying in a way that lasts. Because Harper does not need to dominate every possession. He can fit. He can run second side actions. He can attack tilted defenses. He can punish a late closeout. He can play off Wemby's gravity without looking lost. That's huge. Then Castle gives the group a different kind of edge. Castle's not always pretty. Good. The Spurs don't need pretty all the time. They need pressure. They need somebody who can get into the ball, take contact, fight through a screen, and make the other guard work for every inch. Castle brings that. Against OKC, that matters because the Thunder want rhythm. They want Shea walking into his spots. They want Jalen Williams attacking seams. They want the whole offense to feel smooth, fast, and irritating. Castle makes things less smooth. He's physical at the point of attack. He can guard up. He can take bumps. He's not afraid of a matchup looking ugly. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things about him. Some young players want the highlight. Castle looks like he enjoys the annoying work. That's valuable next to Wemby. Because if Castle pressures high and gets beat, Wemby's behind him. If Castle fights over a screen and forces the ball handler wider, Wemby has more time to meet the drive. If Castle creates one rushed pass, now Harper's running. Wemby's trailing, and the defense has a problem before it even gets set. The Spurs already got a taste of that against OKC in the regular season. In one game against the Thunder, Castle scored 24. Harper had 10 assists with 5 steals and 0 turnovers. And San Antonio scored 20 points off 15 Oklahoma City turnovers. That's exactly the kind of young core pressure that travels into playoff basketball. That game was a warning. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals made it louder. Then there's Carter Bryant. He's the quiet one in this conversation. And honestly, that might be perfect. Wemby gets the alien treatment. Harper gets the rookie guard spotlight. Castle gets the tough guy respect. Fox gets the veteran star conversation. Bryant's the guy casual fans might notice later, which is usually how dangerous role players sneak up on everybody. He does not need the ball every trip. He does not need the offense bent around him. He can defend, cut, run, crash, rotate, and make the lineup feel bigger without demanding a whole speech about touches. Every serious team needs that guy. San Antonio might have one while he's still cheap, young, and figuring out how good he can be. That's disgusting roster luck. Bryant's role matters because Wemby can't do every defensive job. Nobody can. He can cover a ridiculous amount of space, sure, and sometimes it looks like he has 3 arms and a security clearance to the restricted area. Still, the Spurs need wings who can make the first rotation. Bryant can become one of those wings. He gives San Antonio another long body who can pressure, recover, and survive against bigger playoff athletes. If the shot becomes steady, now he's not some defensive project. He's a playoff wing. And playoff wings get expensive fast. Ask any team that's tried to find one at the deadline and ended up paying a first-round pick for a guy who hits one corner 3 a week and brings toughness. San Antonio developing Bryant internally is a big deal. Fox ties the whole thing together because he gives the young core a veteran speed limit. That sounds strange, so stay with me. Young teams sometimes play like every possession's a dare. Too fast, too eager, too many home run passes, too much watch this basketball. Fox gives them a guard who's seen enough. He can push pace when the floor's open. He can attack late clock. He can get downhill before the defense loads up. He can take pressure off Harper so the rookie doesn't have to learn every lesson the hard way. That matters, especially with Wemby, because Wemby needs a guard who can get him the ball on time, not 2 seconds late after the seal's already gone. Fox can create that pressure. Harper's still learning it. Castle can help with it. That gives San Antonio layers. And layers are what makes young cores real. A young core's not ready just because the name sounds good together. I've seen plenty of scary young cores turn into 3 trade exceptions and a sad fan base arguing on a Tuesday night. The fit has to make sense. And San Antonio's fit is starting to make sense. Wemby's the central force. Fox is the veteran engine. Harper's the young creator who keeps getting calmer. Castle's the pressure guard who sets the tone. Bryant's the wingbat who can make the defensive shape nastier. That's real structure. Now, are they fully ready? No, and that's fine. Harper will still have rookie possessions where he drives into traffic and learns a lesson in public. Castle will have nights where the offense gets clunky. Bryant will have stretches where the jumper decides to take a personal day. Wemby still has to deal with teams loading up on him with every coverage they can invent.
Defense allowing the cell to be wide open.
Cunningham blocked by Wembanyama.
Fox has to balance his own scoring with feeding the group. There will be ugly games. There will be turnovers. There will be moments where Mitch or whoever's holding the clipboard looks like he just aged 6 months during one timeout. That comes with being young. The question is whether the foundation looks playoff real. It does. That's the difference. The Spurs are not relying on one miracle. They have different ways to stress a defense. Wemby can pull two defenders. Harper can attack the gap. Fox can speed up the possessions. Castle can turn defense into offense. Bryant can clean up the dirty work and keep the lineup long. OKC has to adjust because that's not a normal young team anymore. If they load up on Wemby, Harper and Fox gets lanes. If they pressure Harper, Wemby becomes the release valve. If they hunt Castle offensively, he can at least make them work first. If they ignore Bryant, he gets room to cut, crash, and prove the scouting reports late. That's how a group grows from interesting to dangerous. One player creates attention. The next one punishes the attention. The third one brings pressure. The fourth one cleans up the mess. The veteran keeps everybody from driving the car into a wall. That's what San Antonio's building. And the scary part for the West is that this group already proved it can survive playoff pressure before everyone's fully polished. That shouldn't happen this fast. Wemby's still adding strengths. Harper's still learning how much control he can take. Castle's still building the offensive side. Bryant is still carving out his place. Fox is still figuring out where to push and where to let the kids cook. And they're already in these games making serious teams adjust. That's the whole point. The Spurs' young core doesn't look cute anymore. It looks functional. It looks connected. It looks like a group that understands how the pieces fit, even if the final version's still a year or two away. And if this is the early version, then the league has a real problem coming. Because once Wemby becomes stronger, Harper gets more reps, Castle sharpens the jumper, Bryant earns more trust, and Fox settles into that veteran guide role, San Antonio stops looking like a fun story. They start looking like a team nobody wants to see across 7 games.